Tonight, a woman is sentenced for a fire that burned her son's restaurant. A judge telling her in court today that the fire created a danger to the community. Good evening. A woman who burned down a restaurant in Bayfield that was owned by her son will have to spend 12 months in jail. That was part of the sentence handed down today to Sonia Larson, stemming from a fire that happened in 2023. CTV's Jeff Pickle was in court for the decision and reaction.
It's Judgment Day for Sonia Larson. After a week delay to allow time for victim impact statements, Justice T.G. McDonald handed down a sentence of 12 months in jail, followed by 2 years probation and 60 hours of community service. In May of this year, 64-year-old Larson pleaded guilty to 1 count of arson for the 2023 fire at the Hub on the Docks restaurant in Bayfield. Court previously heard that on 3 separate occasions over the span of 5 days, Sonia Larson attempted to burn down the restaurant, ultimately successful on the 3rd attempt. No motive was presented to court. Larson's son, Kevin Larson, who owned the restaurant at the time, was never implicated in the fire. In his remarks, Justice McDonald said Sonia Larson's actions were not a spur-of-the-moment idea, stating in all attempts she disabled the alarm, showing planning and carrying out that planning. He added that arson is always a serious offense, saying the fire had an incredibly high level of loss and damage and created a danger to the community.
Most people don't realize that it's not just me, right? So we had investors that lost, and we had staff that lost, and we're still dealing with some staff issues.
Today, the court heard a victim impact statement from the restaurant owner and son of the perpetrator.
And unfortunately, it creates a lot of problems, even for my sister and her children and my extended family, who've all been there to support my mom and this situation regardless.
The damage estimate from the fire was $1.7 million, but Larson says even after receiving insurance compensation, the fire was a serious financial blow.
Most people don't realize is that I still lost, even after the insurance claim, hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars in this situation, just due to the carry costs and supplies and chattels and everything else that wasn't covered in the situation.
Despite the impact on his family and business, Larson says he forgives his mother and is hopeful to rebuild the relationship.
She's an amazing grandmother. She is constantly involved, especially in my sister's lives, with her children.
The Hub on the Docks in Bayfield never reopened. Since the fire, 5 other Hub-branded restaurants closed, including the flagship location in Stratford. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Godrich.
Job losses are coming to Workplace Safety and Insurance Board offices in Waterloo and Guelph. The Ontario Compensation Employees Union says it's been notified that 155 jobs will be cut in Waterloo in a year and that the office will be closing. The WSIB says hundreds of jobs are being cut across the province, including in Guelph, as it consolidates the roles of some back office staff. The WSIB says there will still be local teams providing in-person support for people returning to work, but the union believes the loss of staff will result in delays for service, claims decisions, and reimbursements. Well, police now say careless driving by the driver of a sedan contributed to yesterday's crash that closed the eastbound 401 in Cambridge for several hours. The crash involved 6 vehicles, including a dump truck, which flipped onto its side and spilled its load of sand and gravel across the highway. Someone was initially reported to have serious injuries, but that person was later determined to be stable and their injuries were downgraded. The 401 closure created a massive bottleneck on local roads as drivers looked for detours. The investigation continues and police say charges are pending. Waterloo Regional Police now say 2 sudden death investigations in Kitchener yesterday are not considered suspicious. One investigation brought officers to a ditch in a very busy area along the Highway 8 off-ramp to Fairview Road late yesterday afternoon. Police confirming that this death is no longer under investigation. And the other investigation brought officers to Victoria Park earlier in the day. Again, both deaths are not considered suspicious, and regional police say they are assisting the coroner's office, but that they are no longer investigating. Decades after a woman was found dead in Wellington County, police are renewing their appeal for information about the last known sighting of her. Tammy Penner was 41 when she disappeared from British Columbia in 2005. Her remains were found a month later in a wooded area along Highway 7 between Rockwood and Guelph. Investigative genetic genealogy eventually identified her in 2024. Police believe Penner may have been dropped off at a truck stop in Mississauga and was later seen near a beige transport truck carrying a blue sleeping bag. Investigators are asking anyone who saw her or who may know something to reach out to police. And police are appealing for tips in another death investigation in Wellington County. It was 6 years ago when the body of a 25-year-old man was found on a road just outside Guelph. In our latest edition of Unsolved 519, CTV's Hannah Schmidt takes a new look at this case.
It is usually a quiet rural road outside the city of Guelph. But 6 years ago, Watson Road North, just south of Wellington Road 124, became the scene of a homicide investigation. It was August 4th, 2020, when the body of 25-year-old Mohammed Amin Ishmael was discovered. He was from Ottawa, but was living in Waterloo region. Police have not said exactly how he died, only that he was found with a wound caused by somebody else. 6 years later, they continue to search for answers.
This is an active and ongoing homicide investigation. Although progress has been made, we're hoping that there's members of the public out there that do know something that could help this homicide investigation. Given the passage of time, we're hoping that they maybe have the courage to come forward.
Detective Inspector Michael Moore says the area where Ishmael's body was found is a well-traveled road with very few homes. It's part of the reason police are asking people who were in the area at the time or in the days leading up to come forward.
With the body being found and being reported to police around 7:15 p.m. on August 4th, 2020, his body was clearly there before that time period. It's highly unlikely that this would have occurred during broad daylight hours. So if anybody has any information, even the early hours of August 4th, to come forward.
Investigators are not releasing details about how Ishmael was killed or whether they have identified any suspects. Moore says that information is being held back to protect the integrity of the investigation.
I'm not at liberty to expand on whether or not there are suspects, but again, it's our focus to continue the investigation. This is not going to stop. It's going to keep pushing forward.
He says technology and forensic capabilities have changed significantly over the last 6 years, and investigators continue to re-examine the evidence. The team now includes OPP investigators and specialized units, with support from police in Ottawa, Waterloo Region, and Peel. And police say they're making progress, but they need more information.
We continue to advance in a positive manner, and again, we remain focused on trying to identify the person or persons responsible for this homicide so we can give answers to the Ishmael family.
A family who haven't stopped trying to find out what happened to their loved one.
As anyone would be, losing a 25-year-old is tragic for any family. So we use that as motivation to continue to drive this investigation forward in an attempt to try and give them answers.
And now police are hoping time passed might help. Someone who wasn't ready to speak 6 years ago may be ready now.
I would urge them to take a minute to reflect and put themselves in a situation where the Ishmael family is right now. And they are left with unanswered questions with regards to what happened to their son and why this occurred. We can't bring him back, but we want to be able to hold those responsible for this homicide accountable.
Police say tips can be provided directly to the Wellington County OPP or anonymously through the dedicated tip line. Tony.
Hannah, thank you. That's CTV's Hannah Schmidt with the latest edition of Unsolved 519. Just days after Ontario implemented a law requiring cash bail up front, one judge appears to want no part of it. As CTV's John Woodward tells us, the decision has rallied those who believe the new rule is unconstitutional.
When Halton police arrested 9 people in Project Troubadour last month in a human trafficking investigation, they laid 85 charges, their largest bust in 15 years.
A coordinated human trafficking network responsible for exploiting female victims in the commercial sex trade.
One of those arrested sought bail at Milton Superior Court, and it was granted this week with a twist. Rather than demand bail up front, which is what Ontario's new law requires, Justice Scott Cohen required the accused and their sureties to pledge a total of $11,000. Reporting Cohen's reasoning is prohibited by a publication ban. A constitutional challenge to the law filed on Monday argues when a provincial law conflicts with a federal law, in this case the criminal code, the federal law comes out on top.
There's a concept called paramountcy, which basically means that if the federal government has legislated in an area like criminal procedure and bail, the provincial government can't pass a law that seeks to essentially do an end run around what the criminal code requires.
Shakir Rahim with the Canadian Civil Liberties Association is among those challenging the law, saying it interferes with federal jurisdiction and also treats the rich differently than the poor.
It creates two tiers of justice. That's the reason why cash bail was abolished as a mandatory or pervasive requirement in Canada. This happened back in 1972.
A Premier's office spokesperson said in a statement, the justice system has a responsibility to keep human traffickers behind bars, though a core tenet of Canada's legal system is accused are innocent until proven guilty.
I think that it's likely that other judges will look to that ruling.
The constitutional challenge treated as urgent by the courts. It was filed on Monday, the same day the rules came into effect, and judges will hear it next week. John Woodward, CTV News.
Ontario is banning some controversial procedures on pets, including declawing, and it's being called a big win for animal welfare. But there's one practice that advocates say should have also made the list. CTV's Karis Mapp spoke directly today with Ontario's Solicitor General.
As of January 1st, it will be illegal to declaw cats, devocalize dogs, or crop their ears.
There really isn't any medical benefit to the animal for any of these procedures.
New regulations will come into effect in 2027, making Ontario the last province to implement such a ban on these surgeries.
We want people to have pets as their loved ones, as their extended members of their family, but there is a responsibility to care for them.
Pet owners may think the procedures are harmless, but they carry big consequences.
Cats use their claws for climbing, for balance, for self-defense. When they don't have their claws available to them, it can cause some behavioral issues.
While strides are being made to protect animals from the procedures, advocates say more needs to be done.
Obviously, dogs use their barking as a major form of communication to other dogs, to their human companions, etc.
And there are questions about why not all procedures were included.
If you consider both ear cropping and tail docking as cosmetic procedures, why was one included and not the other?
Tail docking, a surgical procedure that removes a portion of an animal's tail, will still be allowed in Ontario. The practice is used to meet cosmetic standards of certain dog breeds.
They are purely for human or breed aesthetics rather than any benefit or welfare for that animal.
Ontario Solicitor General explains the rationale.
We have to also listen to rural Ontario. We have to listen to people that hunt. We have to listen to our stakeholders in the four corners.
And while advocates worry that tail docking will still be allowed, they are encouraged by this step forward.
We're hoping that, again, this legislation is a first step, and it's something that the province will consider and implement, in the future.
Karis Mapp, CTV News.
Heavy equipment has moved in to begin an expansion at the Humane Society's Kitchener Waterloo offices. The organization says construction activity began this week at the Riverbend Drive site. It's part of a campaign to triple their space for outreach programming, such as wellness education, training programs, adoption events, and summer camps. The expansion will also include a pet pantry. Well, still ahead, a big step forward for some of the most delicate health care at London's Children's Hospital, plus taking it more slowly in the Festival City.
It's the beginning of the consideration to a much larger speed enforcement program if it's successful.
Heather Centerin will tell us about a pilot project that is aiming to slow people down in some of Stratford's neighborhoods. Our satellite and radar tonight giving us really not a lot. We're enjoying a pretty clear night with just a few clouds across southern Ontario. Let's switch things up and look at the temperatures now on this Thursday evening. This is the emerging story for this week because these are some of the lower temperatures we've seen in a while at this time of night. We're actually sitting at just 11 in Waterloo region right now, and that is 8 degrees cooler than just down the 401 in Toronto, where it is still 19 degrees. Here's a look at King Street East in the Deer Ridge area of Kitchener tonight. It's still down to a single lane in each direction as that massive construction project continues through the Deer Ridge and Sports World areas of Kitchener. Back with more news in 2 minutes.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvkitchener.ca, your home for news.
London's Children's Hospital is taking a big step forward. Their lab will soon be able to use a single drop of a baby's blood to come up with some diagnoses and treatments, instead of having to draw larger amounts. CTV's Jerry Dewan explains.
Say hi, everyone.
It's expected little Quinn Johnson will be heading home from hospital next week, but it's been a long stay in the neonatal intensive care unit at Children's Hospital. Quinn's due date was July 3rd. She arrived in this world on March 26th, weighing just 500 grams. Her dad says there's no preparing for a premature birth.
Every day you learn something new that you don't know before, and you just got to trust people here.
One of the hardest parts was the constant blood draws to track her progress. Those blood draws would sometimes have to be followed with a blood transfusion.
For Quinn, it was hard to actually take blood on her because she was so small. And so trying to minimize the number of attempts at that is great. But also she has such a little amount of blood in her system. You don't want to be taking extra amounts if you don't have to.
Because her veins were so tiny, it sometimes required 6 or 7 attempts for a blood draw.
She does have some battle wounds and battle scars from all those attempts.
This new lab in the Children's Health Research Institute could dramatically reduce those scars for babies in the future. It's the first pediatric laboratory certified to use O-Link technology.
By using 1 drop of blood and be able to test 5,000 proteins, that allows us to look at the whole body and be able to tell us how the baby is progressing.
Not only will there be fewer jabs, but the diagnostic capabilities are greatly improved and results are returned almost immediately.
This will allow us to develop new diagnostic tests that will be a lot more specific, and we can dedicate specific treatment for these babies. We call precision medicine.
The O-Link system was purchased with funds from the Children's Health Foundation. At this time, O-Link can only be used for research purposes, and it could take years before it's cleared for use in clinical settings. Dr. Hahn says even as a research tool, it will save the hospital significant costs from having to send samples out of country for analysis. Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
Parts of Stratford are slowing down. A new pilot project has reduced speed limits to 40 in several neighborhoods, but some residents wonder if that's enough. CTV's Heather Centerin reports.
Signs have gone up in parts of Stratford, forcing drivers to go 40 kilometers an hour in the areas bordered by Huron Street, Mornington Street, McCarthy Road, and Olone Avenue.
One of the more common frustrations or complaints that we get from residents is the elevated speeds they see throughout the city.
The city of Stratford chose these residential areas because of the amount of foot traffic it sees.
Our recreation and agriplex center are here, as well as some other community benefits like our soccer pitch, our volleyball courts. There's a whole bunch of pedestrian traffic that generally happens in this area. It's a desired area to seek those reduced speeds.
Some residents say the pilot project should be expanded.
There's too many streets that are having an issue with speed.
Ingrid Bell has lived in the area for 4 decades and says she's been lobbying for traffic calming measures for years.
It looks like the signage is all that we're going to get yet again.
She says the signs aren't enough, and she wishes the provincial government would bring back speed enforcement cameras.
If you hit people in the pocketbook, you get their attention. And if you hit it often enough, they will change their behavior. And as it was shown, once the speed cameras were removed from areas that previously had them, speeds increased.
If not speed cameras, she says there are other options.
Physical deterrence, whether they be bump outs or whether they be speed bumps, would be the most immediate and most cost-effective one for right now.
The city says it is listening to all feedback and is open to implementing more measures down the road.
The intent of this pilot is it's the beginning of the consideration to a much larger speed enforcement program if it's successful.
Traffic studies will continue in the area, with the findings of this pilot project going to council in the fall of 2027. Heather Centerin, CTV News, Stratford.
Later on CTV News, the Jays keep fighting for a playoff spot. And sorry from the Indy. The apology being issued to fans after a disappointing day at the new track in Markham.
Your eyes don't deceive you. Temperatures dipping to single digits tonight. Details on how warm it will get to be tomorrow coming up after this. Stay with us.
A beautiful look at the sunset tonight as we take a look toward the western Waterloo region skyline, down Highway 8, looking toward Kitchener from the 401. A beautiful shot tonight from our very own Alan Fraser. And, you know, it was a very quiet night on the weather front, but it's going to be a cool night. One of the coolest nights that we've actually seen in quite a while. We're talking about getting down to single digits in some areas as we get into these last couple of days of August. Here's Ashley Bacon now with a look at our long-range forecast.
Hope you've had a great day today. The sun was shining through the day. Nice warm temperatures this afternoon, but it was a bit of a cooler start this morning. Needed a little jacket when I first went out, and definitely didn't need it this afternoon. Tomorrow, however, it's going to be another cool start. At least things are going to be clear. We're seeing clear skies continuing through the overnight hours throughout all of your Friday, but by Saturday, we're looking at a system bringing with it some rain through Saturday and Sunday, potentially into Monday as well. Overnight tonight, your eyes are not fooling you. 9 degrees, the expected low, and an under 10 degree digit is a little shocking for August, but I think a lot of people will enjoy cooler temperatures to sleep in. Tomorrow, bouncing back up to 26 degrees, so nice warm conditions for your Friday. Humidex values not very high. We're expecting around 29, and UV index of 7, which is considered high. So if you are spending some time outdoors, make sure to be sun safe. As we take a look at our almanac, as a reminder, a normal for an overnight low is not 9 degrees. It's 13 degrees. So we're a little bit under seasonal at 9 degrees. Nowhere near record breaking. That was set in 1949 at 3.9. So it could be worse, but I don't think anyone's complaining at 9 degrees. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast for Waterloo region. Sunny conditions for your Friday, but rain takes over the weekend. A high of 24 for Saturday, 19 for Sunday, and 20 on Monday. That sun making a return come Tuesday. In Lambton, Kent, Essex, you'll see a sunny Friday ahead. 27 degrees the expected daytime high. It will be a wet weekend. Saturday 23, 21 for your Sunday, and then a mix of sun and cloud to start off your work week, a high of 24. And lastly, in southern Georgian Bay, you'll also see some sunshine for your Friday, a high of 25. Then rainy conditions move into the picture. 22 for Saturday, 18 for Sunday, as well as Monday. So Tony, sunglasses tomorrow, but keep an umbrella handy for the rest of the weekend.
Will do, Ash. Looks not too bad overall when you take a look at those 7 days all together. And, you know, we often talk about this area being a bit of a trap for cool air coming off of the Grand River and down from the airport. Certainly proving that true tonight, sitting at just 11 degrees right now outside our studios. We'll be back in 2 minutes. The head of the Ontario Honda dealers Indy at Markham is apologizing after fans went home disappointed on the event's opening day on Friday. Jeff Atkinson says setting up the track and getting it approved by safety inspectors was the biggest challenge facing the event. His team was not able to get the course ready on time, leading to Friday's full day of on-track activities being canceled. Atkinson has apologized for the failure, but says he is proud of how the event came together overall. Well, the Toronto Blue Jays wrapped up their visit to Tampa this afternoon, looking for another series win.
2-2 pitch. And it's hit softly to the right side, and nobody's going to get it. And somehow that's going to score 2 runs.
2 runs, wow. The Jays were up 3-1 when George Springer's single in the 7th extended the lead by 2. And that would be all they'd need. Toronto wins 5-1. Kazuma Okamoto, Nathan Lucas, and Daz Cameron all homering for the visitors. were the Jays, of course. The Jays are still half a game out of the final wild card spot. And Andres Jimenez had to leave the game in the fourth inning after reaching for his right hamstring during a hard sprint to first base. The team later announced that the two-time Gold Glove shortstop had hamstring tightness. So we'll keep an eye on what the roster is going to look like tomorrow. The Jays in New York to open a series with the Yankees tomorrow, still just right on that line of a playoff spot. That's our time on this Thursday, August 20th. See you once again tomorrow. Have a good night.